My name is Ocean, and I am going to be talking about our leadership video, um, prompt questions. I'm going to cover 4 questions, key areas, why leadership vision matters, a leader that I personally admire, a time I dealt with a leadership vision that was bad, and what my own leadership vision looks like today, or like if I were to lead a team today, what would my leadership vision be? So yeah, a vision isn't just like a boring corporate goal. It's like, a roadmap for a team, and without it, you'll probably lose your way. Yeah, according to a recent 2025 article on leadership psychology by Forbes magazine, teams with a highly visible leader vision are over 70% more productive because they actually understand the point of their daily tasks. When people know why they are working hard, they don't get burned out as easily. There's like a vision. It prevents people from stepping on each other's toes. If a team hits like a hard wall, they just ask which choice aligns with their main vision and their goal. It makes choices and selecting choices more simple. But yeah, if I was to think about a time where, there was like a leadership, I could think about a time in school whenever we had like a group project and everyone was just kind of standing around. If everybody was to just stand around and be like awkward, that's time. But if a leader says, our vision is to complete this project and we'll get an A, and if everybody chips in, then we'll be able to say that everybody contributed and everybody will feel good about it. There's like a goal and there's a reason why we're doing it, and we want to make our teacher happy. Just like if there was like a fundraiser, like here we're doing this to raise money. When there's a vision and a reason that we're doing something, it makes things easier. So yeah, suddenly when everybody knows what's going on, like if there's a fundraiser and everybody wants to win the prize, like in school when we used to do fundraisers, suddenly everybody knows exactly what to do and, who to ask questions, and, they know exactly how fast they need to get it done. They know the deadline. And yeah, they know the reason. It makes things easier, I think. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about like a leader that I admire. I would say my boss right now, I really admire her. I like the way she does things, and I like how she cares about her employees and is flexible, and she's just caring, and at the same time she gets her work done. But yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I admire her, and I just feel like I appreciate how she cares about people and her employees, and she just wants everybody to do good, because if everybody on her team is doing well, then she's doing well, and she lets people know that, and she tells it how it is, and she tells everybody like she loves her team, and if we're doing good, she will congratulate us. And I just really appreciate that, because I feel like sometimes leaders can just focus on negativity and they don't really let you know when you're doing a good job, and I feel like it's hard to learn if you're not being told what's good too. Just as important as it is to know what you're doing wrong, you should know when you're doing the right things. But yeah, she definitely inspires me and makes me want to be more like her when I do end up being a leader in a situation, I definitely learned from her, and I just feel like I want to be like that. I want to be, careful. I want to be like, she's very motivational. She like makes everybody feel like, they're part of the team and that we're all doing this together and we need to, get this done. And it's just, I appreciate that. And yeah, it's just a great leadership vision to have everybody feel like they're on a team and we're all making money together, and if, the more effort I put into my job, the more I'm going to get out of it. And she just treats me like a human, and like, she just is caring, and I appreciate that. But yeah, next one is, have you ever been part of a group where the leader had no clear vision? Yes, I would say the job before this one I have now, the manager, I could just tell was very experienced, and he wasn't a bad person. I liked him, but at the same time, I could tell he didn't have any experience. He didn't go to school to be a manager. He just kind of was promoted because the boss liked him, which is fine. Like, I'm not the boss. I'm not going to say how people, I'm not, but at the end of the day, he still didn't really know how to be a manager, and he didn't, learn all the things that we're learning right now, going through these courses, which really makes me appreciate these courses more, because I feel like, I can see when people don't have all the education that they should being in manager positions, which kind of sucks, but that's just, life. People still are manager positions even when they don't have, like, the education that they should. But yeah, I just feel like if I had, like, a problem and I would come to him about it, he wouldn't really address the problem. Like, if I had a problem with another coworker, he would just kind of be like, oh, nobody's wrong, everybody just do your thing, and, like, basically get over it. And I just feel like, obviously something needed to be addressed. If there's a problem, we need to find the solution so that we can move forward and not have this problem again next time, and not just have it be, like, swept under the rug. We need to address the problem, find a solution, so we can be better and build on these problems and, be a better team. That's helping the boss. I just feel like it's not doing the team justice when you're just wanting to people please, it seems, We shouldn't be trying to people please. We should be trying to fix problems, in my opinion. So, yeah, I do feel like, just help everybody help each other, Find solutions to problems, talk about problems, talk about things, how to fix them, And then also another thing he would do would be, like, passive aggressive with, like, if he maybe had an issue, like, not promoting me to a role or something, and I would ask about it, and he'd be like, oh, no, you didn't do anything, like, and I would ask specifically because he wouldn't come up to me and tell me about it, which kind of bothered me. So got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna go ask him, and he was just kind of like, oh, you didn't do anything, we're just kind of keeping everybody where they're at right now, and he just kind of, like, gave me flow and, like, didn't really, like, criticize me or help me out, like, and that's kind of what I was looking for. Like, I was hoping to move up into a different position, and, I would have appreciated it if he would have told me what I could do to improve myself. Instead, I kind of felt, like, stuck, like there was nothing I could do, like I was just gonna be in that position, and that's just the way that he wanted it to be, and that's kind of why I left that job too, because if people want to improve themselves, isn't that the manager's job to help them, or at least ask them questions like, if you're not happy in this position, then maybe we could do something else. And I don't know, it wasn't helpful, and I just felt like he would also, like, listen to other people, like, employees' opinions about other employees, and that's just not professional. Like, you should make your own opinion about people and not just hearsay and go off of somebody else's opinion. I don't feel like that's professional or helpful. Because you're the manager, not the employees. They're not the manager. But yeah, that wasn't a helpful, wasn't helpful for me. I don't think that was, yeah. So yeah, I just feel like everybody needs to be given direction and communication and assertiveness, and we need to, direction. We need to know what we can do to improve ourselves, and when we're doing good and when we're doing bad, and not just like thrown in the room and just expected to know what's right and wrong, But yeah, the last one is what I would, if I were leading a team today, what would my leadership vision be? I would say I would want to definitely be transparent with my team and communicate, like I was saying. I would want to tell people when they're doing good, when they're doing bad. I would ask them questions about themselves and make sure they know that I care, but also be assertive and let them know that I'm the boss, and like we're not gonna we're gonna work and we're gonna get things done and we're gonna improve ourselves. And yeah, I would definitely model my style after the concepts in Amy Adamson's research on psychology and safety, which shows that the best teams are the ones where people aren't, afraid to admit mistakes. I definitely want people to be able to talk to me about things. And, I want people to be able to improve themselves. And I want to be able to tell people when they're doing something wrong, and then tell them how to improve themselves, and then also tell them when they're doing good stuff. I don't want people to feel like they need to hide things. Just like, being a parent, you want your kids to be able to tell you things. You don't want them to hide stuff, because that's not going to help anybody. But yeah, definitely want people to be honest, and I want to be honest as well, and I want people to be able to communicate, and I want there to be mutual respect. I just want to create an environment where everybody actually enjoys talking to each other, instead of just like waiting to clock out. Everybody, we're going to be at our job for a majority of the day in our lives, and I just feel like we should all be collaborating and helping the team grow and be successful. And yeah, I don't want to just have a long, boring day where we send like emails and stuff about a vision. I want to be able to talk about it in person and have interactive meetings, and everybody can feel motivated. I can tell my team exactly what my goal is and make sure everybody's on the same page. And I want everybody to feel heard. And if I see a mistake, I'm going to be telling somebody, and I'm going to be calling them out. I want us all to win together, and I want to be able to fix problems together. And, I'd also like to check on people one-on-one and make sure they feel supported in their own specific roles. But yeah, to wrap this up, practicing these prompt responses has really helped me look at all of the different aspects of being a leader and what I want to do and what I don't want to do in my leadership role, and help me learn how to speak consistently, which I know will be a big help when we do our final group capstone presentation later in this BAS program. But thank you all for watching, and I really look forward to watching all of your videos as well. I hope it wasn't too boring. I hope that you maybe got something out of it and maybe even agreed with some things I said. But yeah, leadership is something that is very important. We're all motivating each other, and we all have to care about each other and communicate and trust. So yeah, thank you for watching.